Discourse विद्महे वक्रतुण्डाय धीमहि तन्नो दन्तिः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ निधनपतये नमः। निधनपतान्निकाय नमः। ऊर्ध्वाय नमः। ऊर्ध्वलिङ्गाय नमः। हिरण्याय नमः। हिरण्यलिङ्गाय नमः। सुवर्णाय नमः। सुवर्णलिङ्गाय नमः। दिव्याय नमः। दिव्यलिङ्गाय नमः। भवाय नमः। भवलिङ्गाय नमः। शर्वाय नमः। शर्वलिङ्गाय नमः। शिवाय नमः। शिवलिङ्गाय नमः। ज्वलाय नमः। ज्वललिङ्गाय नमः। आत्माय नमः। आत्मलिङ्गाय नमः। परमाय नमः। परमलिङ्गाय नमः। एतत् सोमस्य सूर्यस्य सर्वलिङ्गस्थापयति पाणिमन्त्रम् पवित्रम् सद्यो जातम् प्रपद्यामि सद्यो जाताय वै नमो नमः। भवे भवेनाति भवे भवस्व माम् भवोद्भवाय नमः। वामदेवाय नमो ज्येष्ठाय नमः। श्रेष्ठाय नमो रुद्राय नमः। कालाय नमः। कलविकरणाय नमो बलविकरणाय नमो बलाय नमो बलप्रमथनाय नमः। सर्वभूतदमनाय नमो मनोन्मनाय नमः। अघोरेभ्योऽथ घोरेभ्यो घोरघोरतरेभ्यः सर्वेभ्यः सर्वशर्वेभ्यो नमस्ते अस्तु रुद्ररूपेभ्यः। तत्पुरुषाय विद्महे महादेवाय धीमहि तन्नो रुद्रः प्रचोदयात्। ईशानः सर्वविद्यानाम् ईश्वरः सर्वभूतानां ब्रह्माधिपतिर्ब्रह्मणोऽधिपतिर्ब्रह्मा शिवो मे अस्तु सदा शिवो। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
Om Sri Sai Ram. Respected Director, Honorable Guest Speaker Sri Subramanian, dear teachers and my dear brothers, it's my privilege to introduce to you all Sri Ananta Venkata Subramanian. He is currently the President of Adhyatma Bharatam, Adhyatma Yoga, Bangalore. He did his bachelor's in engineering from Madurai Kamaraj University, MKU Madurai, and has done his master's degree in yoga from world-renowned S. Vyasa Yoga University, Bangalore. He is fondly called by his students and admirers as Subbu Bhaiya. He is a new age yoga spiritual master. He not only guides the aspirants in yoga, but also takes them to the depth of Indian philosophy and devotional experiences. He gave up his corporate career and shifted to human engineering of yoga and spirituality, inspired by the words of Swami Vivekananda. A sadhaka since childhood, he is an initiated disciple of Sri Atmasthanandaji Maharaj, who is the international head of Sri Ramakrishna Mission, and is an ardent devotee of Mahatma Krishna Premi Maharaj. He travels widely motivating mass, particularly youth, and has trained thousands of youths through his workshops on yoga for holistic health, stress management, personality development, leadership, and other relevant themes. Adhyatma Bharatam, for which he is the president, is also involved in many service activities. He has adopted 5 villages in Kudalur and Villupuram districts, which were heavily affected by floods, where most downtrodden scheduled tribes are living. His added passion is also to make the dilapidated ancient temples into vibrant centers of Bharatiya culture. He has got so many positions and credentials to his credit. I'm stating a few of them. In charge of all spiritual, cultural, and extension activities of S. Vyasa Yoga University, adjunct faculty at Hindu University of America, Florida, USA, Director, Yoga Bharati, Executive Member of Karnataka State Yoga Academy, Bangalore, Facilitator, Disha, inculcating human values in education through Indian culture. He has won many awards, and some of them include the prestigious Viveka Ratna Award by Vivekananda Yoga Education and Research Institute, Mysore, January 2015, Distinguished Alumni Award from PSY Engineering College, Madurai in 2013, Vivekananda Youth Leadership Award, Yoga Ratna, Yuvakala Bharati by Bharati Yuvakendra, Madurai, Kavita Mani by His Holiness Jagadguru Sri Shankaracharya Swamiji in his appreciation of his poems at the age of 13. He is going to talk to us today on the topic, streams of yoga and their relevance in daily life. Now, let us put our hands together to welcome Sri Subramanian Garu.
First of all, I should apologize for being so late. The talk was scheduled at 9:30, and it's almost 11:30 when I arrived at the campus. Thanks to the heavy traffic of Bangalore, it's unpredictable. Last week I come to Whitefield, and I took 2 hours to drive from the place from where I started. This from the same place. Calculating the 2 hours I started, 2.5 hours ahead, but I could reach after 3.5, 4 hours. I thought by the same time I could have reached Puttaparthi as well than coming to Vrindavan here. So it never happens in Swami's Institute. Always punctuality is so much maintained. So I was feeling very bad about doing it. In fact, therefore the next time, if at all, this is the hat trick. The third time I've been blessed to come to this noble institute to come and speak to the students by the blessings of Swami. And I wish that I would be coming more and more again and again. The next time I would come the previous evening, stay in this beautiful, vibrant campus in the lap of Swami, and then give my service to you in the next morning. I'll just begin with a small prayer. Of course, wonderful invocation with the bhajans and the Vedam that has created a holy atmosphere here. I'll just lead through a small bhajan. I would like you all to join with me in this. It's all about the different concepts in yoga. Yogeshwaraya Namaha. Yogeshwaraya Namaha. Yogeshwaraya Namaha. Yogeshwaraya Namaha. Yogamargaya Namaha. Yogalakshaya Namaha. Yogalakshaya Namaha. Yoga Gurave Namaha. Yoga Gurave Namaha. Yoga Prabhave Namaha. Yoga Prabhave Namaha. Yogarudaya Namaha. Yoganandaya Namaha. Yoganandaya Namaha. Yogatantraya Namaha. Yogatatvaya Namaha. Yogatatvaya Namaha. Yogashaktयै Namaha. Yogashaktयै Namaha. Yogasiddhयै Namaha. Yogasiddhयै Namaha. Yogeshwaraya Namaha. Yogeshwaraya Namaha. Yogeshwaraya Namaha. Who is Yogeshwara? Shiva. And who is Yogeshwara? Shri Krishna. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna in the Gita, we see Yogeshwara Shri Krishna. So yoga is something which the gods are practiced. Right? All our gods, when we see them, they're all always established in a yoga posture, yogas in a yogasana, right? It may be Padmasana, it may be Virasana. We see each of the different deities whom we have is always established in a yogic posture, they are there. And therefore, yoga is something which has been practiced by the gods of this land. And since 2 years, we have seen a great yogic wave around the world. People all over the world, right, have all started celebrating the Yoga Day. That shows that they are already practicing yoga. Because when our Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji went to the UNO and spoke about this declaration of Yoga Day, within a short span of 2 months, right, how many countries did they co-sponsor it? Can anyone say? 1? I have a hearing problem, so you have to be a little louder. One. How many countries are there in the UN General Assembly? 192. Out of which how many nations did support this proposal immediately? 177. I tell you, it has never happened in the history of the world, it has never happened in the history of UNO, that for one common cause, these many countries, out of 192, 177 countries have immediately, in a short span, not even a year's time, 2 months' time, they all signed and, they not only just supported it, they co-sponsored this declaration. It means to say they're also joining India in the same, feeling that they co-sponsored this declaration and made it happen. In which 40 countries where Islam is kind of the official religion. In India, people are talking, oh, we will not do this, we will not do this, all still is happening. Though we talk of the Samadharma and all those things, that's what Swami and Sri Ramakrishna, Vivekananda, all have preached here. Shirdi Baba and all have preached here the universality of religions. But still in India, even today, after all these Mahatmas have come and preached, still people talk of all those. In fact, Muslims don't have a problem to do it. I've been going around and teaching them, in countries like Turkey and Saudi, and 3 days back, Baba Ramdev had been to Dubai, and then he had a mass yoga program there as well. So they don't have problem. Some of our own people who have problem, who want to create problem, they talk of all those, right? It's politics, it's all. But people all over the world have taken this, day, and they have supported this June 21st, which shows yoga has crossed boundaries, has embraced the whole universe. It has become the common science of the world today, right? So why would they support this day without knowing its importance? That shows they're all practicing this day. And why this day, June 21st, was taken? It is the longest day, summer solstice, which indicates the transit from the Uttarayana to Dakshinayana of the sun's movement is indicated there. The longest day also represents the movement of light from darkness. We say asatoma sadgamaya tamasoma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amridam gamaya. That is what it is indicating, being of more light. Not in India, we had less light because of the rain and the climate here. But world over, when you look at it, it's one common day where the sun's rays is more shining in the sky. And so this day was selected by all the yogis, and we in Bangalore should be really proud, because this, much before Modi could go to the UN and speak about it, all the great yoga masters of this country, Dr. B.K. Iyengar, Sri Ravi Shankar, Baba Ramdev, Sadhguru Jaggi Vasdev, Dr. H.R. Nagendra, and all people gathered together at Bangalore in 2011, December 4 and 5, to decide on this common day. And they discussed and then brought this common day, that June 21st, the longest day, can be taken because yoga is something connected to nature. Many said you should celebrate the birthday of Patanjali. In that we have various days even. If one school of yoga says today is Patanjali's birthday, the other school will say no, it's the other day. Right? If I say today is Ekadashi, then the Vaishnavets would say tomorrow is Ekadashi, and Madhvas would say it has happened 2 days back. So to come and agree on one common day as per the Indian calendar is a little difficult because of different calendars we have, the Chandrayana, the Sauramana, and the Chandramana, and all we have. So various differences we have. So to declare on one Indian day is difficult. And also, if we say the birthday of Patanjali, there are many other yoga schools even who don't take Patanjali as the foremost reference point of yoga. They take some other Rishi as the forerunner of yoga. So these are all there. But one thing common in all schools is that yoga is something connected to the nature. That's what we see when you see the names of the asanas, the postures. You see Vrikshasana named after a tree, or Parvatasana named after the mountain, and Bhujangasana, and Salabhasana, and Vyagrasana, and Simhasana, Mayurasana, So all these after the animals and all, that shows the ancient seers have lived an eco-friendly life. And they had that open-mindedness to learn from even the fellow animals and the trees and creatures around. Right? The Veda says, Ano Badraha Kratavo Yanto Vishwataha. So whenever they had a noble lesson to learn from nature, they learned that and adapted it in their life. Not only just sitting or standing in that way, but even the characters, when they looked at a tree, they said, Tarorabi Sahishnuna. We have to learn the patience just like a tree and then adapt that. Like be strong like a mountain. So for everything they had a lesson to learn, and that is what they adapted in their life, living an eco-friendly life. And for this eco-friendly life, the sun is a center. He is energy giver for all. And therefore sun gains utmost importance in the yoga sadhana, in the yoga parampara. So a day connected to him was taken. And even the yoga parampara, if you see, how does it get started? From where did it get started? Yeah? Bhagavad Gita, very good. Very good. Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is the yoga shastra. In fact, every chapter is called a yoga. And then we have 18 chapters which are all named as one or the other yoga. Right? And in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is speaking all about yoga to Arjuna. And then now Arjuna has a doubt. He is asking, how do you know all this? He says, not only now, in the beginning of creation itself, I have spoken this. Then again Arjuna scratches his head. Why? Because we both are born almost in the same year, we are cousins. Then how do you say you have given this knowledge in the beginning of the creation itself? Then when Krishna has to show him his cosmic form of the Vishwarupa and say that he is the Ishvara. And so Krishna as the Ishvara, the universal consciousness, had given this knowledge of the yoga at the very beginning of creation itself. The beginning of Srishti. To whom did he give? The sun god, Vivaswan. Very good. So Krishna, the Yogeshwara, gave the science of yoga, and who was the first receiver of this knowledge? Surya. And therefore that is why we give utmost importance for Surya, sun god, in the yoga parampara. That the center, the heart of yoga, if you ask what is the heart center of the yoga abhyasa, the practical aspects of yoga, it is Surya Namaskara, which we do every day. Right? So he is the foremost profounder of this yogic knowledge. Various other disciplines have come. Surya, if he is the first ever receiver, who was the first practitioner? Krishna is the first giver, the Lord of yoga, so he is called Yogeshwara. Vivaswan, sun god, was the first receiver of this knowledge, and so we offer him the salutations. But the foremost practicing yogi, an exemplary yogi, in all his aspects, in all his dimensions, in all his avatars, we can see him to be a great yogi. Who is it? Shiva. And that's why we call him as Yogishvara, Yoginam Ishvara. Among the yogis, he is the Lord, and therefore he is Yogishvara. And today, we see that this science have come down through lineage, thanks to all the great yoga paramparas of this country, right? We have various traditions, various schools, and all those people have contributed a lot that today yoga has reached so wonderful, very well. The awareness have increased a lot. In fact, 15 years back, when I started the practice of yoga and then said that I'm going to become a yoga practitioner or a teacher and all those things, people thought he is mad, right? And now those who said that I was mad that time, they're coming, searching for me where I am, because they are becoming mad of the worldly life and they want to get treated, therefore they look for me and come to me today. So the trend has changed a lot, right? 4 kinds of people are there who come to yoga. When I see the world at large, when people practicing yoga, I see Krishna says in the Gita, 4 kinds of people go to him, means go to the Lord. Chadurvida bhajante mam. Who are they? Artha, Jignasu, Artharthi, Jnani cha Bharadarshava. The same can be applied to yoga as such. The first and foremost kind of people who come to yoga today is because they have a back pain, they have a headache, they have diabetes, they have knee problem, and the doctors have started telling that you go to yoga, right? The trend was different those times. Doctors were not supporting this and all. They want them to go to the medical and all those things. But now doctors themselves have started practicing yoga. That is the greatness of yoga today, I see, right? So the first kind of people who get problems, artha, physical ailments or mental disorders, psychological conflicts, emotional upsurges, stress and tension, and all these are the problems which people commonly face today in the modern life. And these are the people who come to yoga for getting a solace there, artha. And there's a second category of people, artharthi, in the sense people come to yoga making it as a profession as well. Here. Earlier there were only sadhakas, there were only spiritual people who were practicing it for their enlightenment. But now yoga, the physical aspect of yoga has been taken widely in the education system. It has been introduced in educational institutions. And the therapeutic aspects of yoga in the hospitals and in medical system have got integrated. So we need professionally trained people to go and teach and train, so that becomes a discipline itself. So people taking it as a career, a profession have increased a lot. That's why the university where I am part of and many such institutions have come today to train such people. The demand has increased a lot. Demand is more, our supply is less. We need more and more people to come and teach yoga. That is the need today. And so yoga as a career, as a profession, artharthi. People who make business out of yoga also, there was recently a video which had been circulated at the WhatsApp where I was seeing. So saying if a normal teacher who has been working for so many years, when he retires, how much balance he would have, how much another engineer, an IT person, if he retires, how much balance he would have, how much a doctor would have earned, how much a politician would have earned. Like this, there was a statistics which was given, and then it was told that the Babas, certain the yoga people who are there, if they would retire, how much of money they would have. So yoga has become something in that way also, but money is required to do good things. That is what people have demonstrated worldwide. Baba Ramdev is doing very well through his products and all those things. So the Indian market is getting upgraded in the world market. So artharthi, right? Starting from making a small profession teaching to making a big industry out of yoga, that perspective is also growing. Artharthi, then jignasu. Out of curiosity to know what is there in it, right? In fact, I see quite a lot of people. In those days, the Indian sadhakas were in that mentality, but that is coming down today here. Whereas the people from other countries abroad, they are in this jignasatva, wanting to know what it is out of their inquiry, the curiosity they want to learn, and therefore they come explore, going around the various yoga schools and ashrams available, practice, that's what they do. But jnanicha bharadarshava. Jnanis are the one who have understood yoga as such, what it stands for. The health aspects of yoga, the professional aspects of yoga, and others are all the byproducts. But what did the yogis do it for ultimately? Years ago, thousands and thousands of years ago, when the yogis started practicing yoga, when Patanjali and others gave these shastras, what did they do for? They never would have thought of people would be doing yoga for back pain. They had the Ayurveda and other shastra for that. But yoga as a discipline was given as a spiritual discipline. Right? So the jnanis are the people who take the spiritual aspect of yoga and practice. So these are the four kinds of people who come. Now today, we see, unfortunately, though fortunately the spread of yoga is wide, but unfortunately, the aspects or the dimension of yoga, the understanding of yoga has been limited to the physical, aspect of yoga more. 3 years back, I was invited to give a talk at a conference, an international yoga conference in Chennai. It was organized by a university there, and I was supposed to be the second keynote speaker. The first keynote speaker was a veteran yoga practitioner, who has crossed his 80s, and then he is a very popular person who appears on the television and teaches yoga. He is a yoga guru for leading political people in Tamil Nadu. So he was there, and then I was thinking, I'm a young boy who is going to be there, and what am I going to do with him, right? And then he started speaking. I was also curious. For the first time I had come to hear his talk, I was curious to see what he is going to speak. And then the gentleman started saying, we have been gifted with a life, right? And the ultimate goal of life is to live happily 100 years. Fine, we talk of moksha and all, but our scriptures, we had been having rishis who speak about the materialistic aspects also. We say Shadam Jive, Sharda Shadam and all those things, Shatamanam Bhavati, 100 years to live, fine. A long life is what is important, fine. Living a long life, what is that you're going to do? He says you have to earn more money. Fine. So our shastras have never been against earning money. That's what I told you, right? Even the yoga gurus have taken up earning money and establishing their empires by which they are helping a lot, right? So he says by living long, you have to earn more money. And what do? Enjoy a lot your life. Okay, Rinam Kritva Gritam Pipet has also been spoken here. So enjoy your life all with all comforts, fine. So for that, you have to do yoga. Good. I don't deny. And what is yoga? You have to sit. He had a big ice, ice block, right? and he sat upon it, and then he was demonstrating very advanced asanas, lifting his leg and putting upon the neck, standing upside down in Shirasasana, and all he was demonstrating on a melting ice. And he was saying, this is what it is yoga. Do this, then you can live for 100 years. When you don't do this, you may have immature death. If this much he would have told, I don't have a problem, because this can be his perspective, his understanding, that's fine. And then he did mention saying, Vivekananda died at 39 years. How many of you can understand Tamil here? The gentleman was speaking in Tamil, you know. So in Tamil there is a very local Chennai Madras Bhasha. Vivekananda 39 vayasile Monday pottaru. You know what does Monday pottar means? Though it's death, but we say it very casually for, it's used by the local people there like that. And his guru Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, again, Monday pottaru at the 50 years. And then he mentioned the names of few other masters also, including Bhagavan Satyasai Baba, saying he also had a death and all those things. He died in the hospital with illness. Why? Because these people did not practice yoga. Vivekananda died at 39 years, Ramakrishna died at 50 years, and people like Ramana Maharshi and Bhagavan Baba and all had ailments and something, and then he made all these comments. And then he concluded. And the next I was supposed to speak. I went and requested the speaker to postpone my speech. I said I will speak tomorrow. There is another slot tomorrow also. I'll speak. No, sir, you have to speak now. I said I'm having headache or something. If I speak, I may not speak properly. Let me speak tomorrow. He said, oh no, I understood why you are avoiding. In fact, the reason for putting your speech after his speech is that you can give a proper counter argument to what he has made. Right? So you have to speak now. Now I was in a trouble, because he was the most influential person. He was a yoga guru for the political, people who rule the government and all those people. And I am an addressless, person. So that's a good thing, because I'm addressless. He can't catch me also. But I was like, why I had to go and speak with these people? Let them say whatever it is. People, the wise people know what the truth is, right? So then I was called. I spoke. I started speaking, giving my talk and all those things. In due course, somehow I want to avoid the topic. In due course, somehow Bhagavan guided me to speak the right way, I suppose. I just made a comment saying, right? I do not know how a child who had been failing in the same class of LKG for 80 years, who has been failing in the LKG of asanas for 80 years, sitting in the same bench for 80 years, can make comments on the great Mahatmas who have crossed the PhD of Samadhis. Right? So when I said this, the whole of the audience, it was almost a big auditorium, they stood up and clapped hands. Thank God they understood what I conveyed. Right? So this man had been, renowned as a yoga master, and he appears on the television and speaks there and all those things. But for 80 years, he had not crossed the stepping stone of asana and gone into the deeper, subtle aspects of pranayama, meditation, and all those things. And the highest layer, highest limb of yoga, more subtler, the most highest is the samadhi, and that is where the great Mahatmas of this holy land, it may be Vivekananda, Sri Ramakrishna, Bhagavan Satyasai Baba, they were ever established in the samadhi that they don't have to do the preliminary things. It is for the beginners for climbing the steps. And they have come here to give this message to us, and therefore they don't have to climb the steps. They were already established in that ultimate state of samadhi. What is samadhi? To be free. Free from what? Free from all bondages, from all miseries, from all struggles, for all pairs of opposites. You all come here and you have been sitting here and listening to my talk, right? Speaking for half an hour would be pleasant for you, can just listen. And if I exceed that, go, then it becomes a dukkha for you. You will be thinking, when will he stop, when can we go? Right? These 5 boys are sitting in sukhasana. That's what we call it as, right? But I know, after 10 minutes, that becomes a dukkhasana, a struggle for them. Then they try to slowly change the legs, and then make comfortable. Comfortably, they have the slab there, they can just lean their back on it, so they are in much more comfortable position. So we have difficulty, we try to overcome it. Again, we get difficulty, we try to overcome it. Life is always with this misery and happiness, that's what the cycles go on. But ultimately, all of us want to be free. This state of freedom, freedom from all bondages, all miseries, and then to be established in the eternal state of blissful awareness, that is what is samadhi, the ultimate state. And to go to that, to reach that state, is what is the whole path of yoga. If life is a journey towards this goal ultimate, we need to make a journey, a travel towards reaching this goal. For that, God has gifted us with an ultimate, with a nice vehicle to travel, and that vehicle is this human body. Sharira madhyam kala dharma sadhanam. Only if we have a good sharira, a healthy body, then when we can think of all this, a healthy mind is important, right? And that is where Vivekananda said you should have a body with nerves of iron and muscles of iron and nerves of steel. That's how the body should be. And there's a description in the Bhagavatam of Krishna's body, how it was. When he had to go and fight with Kamsa or any of the asuras, his body would be vajradabi katorani. Becomes more hard like a diamond. Vajradabi katorani, like a thunderbolt, more sturdy, more hard. Same time, mruduni kusumanicha. When he plays with his friends, the gopas, when he does the rasa leela, it becomes more soft like a flower. So body should not just be hard alone, it should be hard and flexible. This is what it is. So the asanas and all those makes the body, prepares the body in a right way. So the physical body, which is the most important, but not the ultimate, is first taken in consideration. That is what the scriptures call as the Annamaya Kosha. Right? The journey starts from here. This is the vehicle given to us to accomplish this journey. Vehicle alone is there, it's not enough. You need to fill the vehicle with fuel, the petrol. And that is what it is, the prana that we have, the energy. The air we breathe in and the air we exhale, and then the food we take, and all those things get converted into the energy ultimately. That is what is called as prana. Pranasyedam vashe sarvam tridiveyat pratishtitam. Ma deva putran rakshasva shrischa pragyamsha videhinayati. Oh Mother Prana, just like a mother protects a child, give me the nourishment, the protection. This is what the Prashna Upanishad mantra says. And so prana is a fuel which makes the journey further enabled and enhanced. And okay, the body is there and the pranamaya kosha is there. The vehicle requires an engine. And the engine here is the mind. So when the vehicle gets a problem, you go and the mechanic goes and sees what is the problem in the engine. The problem in engine deflects upon the vehicle and it doesn't go ahead. Manayeva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayo. If you are bound by something, it is your mind which is the cause. If you are free from your struggles and problems, the mind is again the reason. Manayeva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayo. But mind is the culprit. It doesn't stay at one place. It either flies to the past or flows to the future. It doesn't be the present. And so it is so important to bring the mind under a control. One small incident I'll tell you which happened in Whitefield nearby. You have a lot of apartments and all there. So one of the apartment, a newly married couple came and occupied there, did the Graha Pravesham, and they were staying there. And every Sunday, the lady of the house used to come to the balcony to hang her clothes there. Right? Those days we used to wash every day. Nowadays it's only a Sunday. Right? And so Sunday they wash, and then she had come to put the clothes there. And then she was looking through the window that the other house, the opposite house, there was an elderly lady, auntie, who had also come to put her clothes there. And she was looking at the clothes, and then she called her husband. The husband came and she said, see, look at that auntie, her clothes are looking so dirty. They are not very clean, like the dazzling white clothes of the Satyasai students here. Right? And so she said, maybe that auntie is struggling herself to wash the clothes. I should go and tell her the tips that you don't wash, make uncle to wash like I do you. Then the husband said, why do you have to worry about the other house? Right? You leave it. Let us think, it's my faith that I am helping you washing the clothes. Why do you want to trouble the other lady? Leave it. Sunday after Sunday, this lady was coming and hanging the clothes. She was seeing it. The clothes were looking dirty for her. And one Sunday morning, she came to the balcony. She was surprised because the clothes were much more shining than her clothes, like a rinse of advertisement. Then she again, someone called her husband. The husband came here. And she said, see, look at that. I think today auntie has not washed and uncle has washed. Then the husband said, I don't know whether auntie washed or uncle washed. I have washed the glass windows of our balcony very well today. So where was the dust? Not in the clothes, not in the soap, not in the hands of the washer. It was there in the glass windows of her own So the way she was looking at was problem. We see problems everywhere in the world, because the dirt is there in our mind, which is the specks here. And so Patanjali, the great Maharishi, gave the system of yoga, the Raja Yoga discipline, where he calls it as Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Yoga is the science of cessation of the modifications of the mind. Why? Because mind is the culprit. It is looking at things in the wrong way, the wrong perception. So if you have to get the right perception, right way to look, the right vision, if you have to get the clarity has to come, then it has to come by doing this sadhana of wiping out the dust there. So it is Chitta Vritti Nirodha. When you take out the Chitta Vrittis, Chitta Shuddhi happens. Right? And then what happens? Tada drashtuhu swarupe avasthanam. When the dust is removed in the mirror, what do you see? You see your reflection there. Swarupa darshanam tada drashtuhu swarupe avasthanam. That is what has happened in your thing. So you see your own true nature, which is what we see ahead. So the mind is a third element, and then going deep ahead, there is a fourth element called the intellect, the buddhi, which is a driver here in the car. The engine is the mind. You need a driver to drive, and that is what the intellect does. Buddhim to Sarathim Vidhi says the Upanishad. Just like Shri Krishna is a Sarathi there, the Sanatana Sarathi. We have the beautiful magazine from the Satyasai Institute. So the Sarathi is here the Buddhi, right? Buddhim to Sarathim Vidhi. And now the body is your vehicle, which is the fuel, the prana. What is the engine? The mind is the engine. What is the driver? The intellect. Now who is traveling within? The self, the soul. Atmanam radinam vidhi. So Atma, the self, which is our true nature, that is what is Surupa Darshanam, which Patanjali says, is what is happening. So the Atma is traveling within to accomplish this journey. Journey from where? The Jivatma is going ahead towards reaching its soul, Paramatma. And when it reaches, that is what is Samadhi, the ultimate state. So to attain that is the path. This is the vehicle. This is the goal ultimate. So you need a path to travel, and that path is what is yoga. To come to the Vrindavan campus, many ways are there. Perhaps I chose the wrong way to come today. That's why I was held up in the traffic today, right? So you have many ways to come. A loving mother, when she goes to a market, buys the same stuff, say perhaps brinjal or tomato, comes back home, then she thinks what suits her children, what suits her husband. Today, nowadays, Bangaloreans don't cook at all. They eat at Darshani's, hotels and all those things. That's how its industry is growing. But in those days, people used to cook food at their home. So the mother comes, brings a brinjal or tomato and cooks different items with the same substance and gives it so that they enjoy it better. Say a tomato. She prepares a tomato chutney for somebody, a tomato curry for somebody, a tomato sambar for somebody, a tomato ketchup for the child. Similarly, the loving mother, Shri Krishna, right, takes the same substance of yoga, understands the diversity in the creation, with the variety of people we have. All the 5 fingers are not the same. Similarly, people are not of the same type. Loko binaruchihi. There are some who are sharp, intellect-oriented people, intelligent people, right? For them, they require a different approach of yoga, and therefore the jnana yoga, the path of intellect, was given to them. That's what we call it as a Vedanta, right? The Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, Prasthanatrayam, the Brahma Sutram, all this constitute the Prasthanatrayam, the essence of which is called the Vedanta, which is a Jnana Marga, the path of the intellect, which was given by ancient, is like, all the Upanishads, Rishis are given it. And then great profounders of the Vedanta Marga, Shankaracharya and all had come, and then they had given us the beautiful Marga of the Jnana Yoga. If this is one aspect, then we have certain people who are not that very intellectual, but they have a strong willpower. They work through the mind a lot. And for that kind of people, is what the science of Raja Yoga, which is given, which is based on the Patanjali Ashtanga Yoga Sutras. Many today speak of Patanjali as the founder of yoga, the father of yoga and all, right? Certainly Patanjali has made a great contribution in the science of yoga. His Yoga Sutras are the main source of reference today. But you can't tell him that he is someone who started it, because yoga started right from the Rig Vedas. The very essence, science of yoga, the very word yoga, you see from the Veda onwards. right? It is not something newly introduced by Patanjali. Much before Patanjali was Krishna, much before Krishna had been, even in the Valmiki's Ramayana, you see the concepts of yoga. So like this, it has been right from the ancient most text in the world today is the Rig Veda, where you see the word yoga, the concept of yoga has been from there, right? And so, whatever science, whatever message of yoga was available before Patanjali, he brought all those and then wrote a sutra, a ready reckoner, easy, alpaksharam, asandiktam, saravad, vishvatomukam. A sutra should be very sharp, very crystal clear, not elaborate. Just quick reference you should, it's aphorism, a formula like E is equal to mc square. Yogaha chitta vritti nirodha, finished. Abhyasa vairagyabhyam tan nirodha, one line. The same sutras you can see as elaborate shlokas or mantras, shlokas in the Gita and other texts, in the Smritis, or as mantras in the Vedas or Upanishad. For example, Patanjali says, Abhyasa vairagyabhyam tan nirodha. In the Gita you say, Abhyasena tu kaundeya vairagyena cha grihyate. Same concepts would be seen there. So Patanjali brought all those and then made short notes in 196 sutras. So Patanjali gave the Ashtanga Yoga, where it starts with the disciplined life that is very important, values. Bhagavan Baba had been speaking of values, and Satyasai Institute has been emphasizing on that, and that's what we see the students after finishing here also. When they are there in any profession, anywhere, everywhere, right? When you look at them, you can easily understand that they are students of this noble institute. That's how they manifest the values they have learnt here elsewhere also, right? The social values, the family values, the national values, the universal values, values of different kinds. That is what as yama and niyama. Yama the don'ts and niyama the do's. What are the don'ts? Do not speak falsehood, right? Satya. Ahimsa. Do not hurt others. Astaya. Do not steal others' things. Do not, have more of the wants and take others' things. Aparigraha. And brahmacharya. Do not indulge in unwanted things. Have the sense control. The brahmacharya. And this is the kind of the social discipline connecting the individual with the society. For the social order, the yamas were given. Niyamas is the individual discipline where saucha, santosha, tapasvadhyaya, right? It starts with the cleanliness of not just our body, but the soul, the antakaranas within the indriyas, and then the outside as well. Swachha Bharat is something which has not started recently. Swachha Bharat started ancient times, saucha. Santosha, to be content with what you have. Tapas, austerity, penance, to lead a life of great discipline. Tapas. Swadhyaya, self-introspection, learning the scriptures, reading, and then to apply that in your life. Swadhyaya. And then Ishvara Pranidhana, to surrender yourself to the divine ultimate. So the individual discipline of niyama. And once you follow this is when you have to start your asana itself. This is what is a foundation. Yama, niyama, the two pillars, the foundation. Today, what is happening? Unfortunately, I did mention about the yoga master about whom I said. What is happening? Not focusing on the yamas and niyamas, not living a life of values. They just take the skinny physicality of yoga and practice, limiting it to limitation, forgetting its broader scope and forgetting its broader applications. So they are limiting. Of course, yoga became so popular today in the modern world because of the physicality because of the asanas and all those things. But we have to grow from there, evolve from there, go into subtle aspects, learn these also, learn the concepts and philosophy also. And that is what it is emphasized by giving the yama, niyama in the beginning, a disciplined life, an orderly life, and then is given the asanas. Asana is to establish you in a proper posture. It is then when you can still go into your mind. Unless your body is prepared, you cannot go into the mind and be controlled in the mind level. And so it's so important to set the body in the right way. How should an asana be? Stiram Sukham Asanam. Right? You have to always have a perfection of the posture, but not so strenuous. It should be in a way ease, comfortable to you. Right? How should it be? In fact, many of you are sitting in the wrong posture now. Right? Because the morning would have come, it would have been in the right posture. As time has gone slowly, the posture is going in the wrong way. It should be the head, neck and spine in a straight line. Samam Kaya Shiro Grivam. Sit now like this with your head, neck and spine in a straight line. This is the right posture. No matter whether you stand in a vrikshasana or in a trikonasana or sit in a padmasana, whatever it is, the primary criteria is your head, neck and spine should be in a straight line, samam kaya shirogrivam. Right? This is the asana in which we have to do. The asana has the benefit of culturing your body, and today a lot of ailment management and all research have proved that they can be obtained through the asanas. So it's so important. And Prabhuji doesn't stop there. He takes you to the subtle layer of the prana, which gives you the energy. Normally we all have an energy to do something, but the more enhanced energy can make you do excellent things. That's what we have seen with spiritually vibrant people. The energy level had been so wonderful, right? People talk of auras and all, right? So when you go to spiritually evolved people, when you go and check their auras, it has been so much manifold. So this is the prana, which is so important for energized living, and pranayama is the control of that, right? So it has been also be given by Patanjali. And after that, once you are established in the pranayama, right, we have to go to control the mind. The engine of the mind, I told you, that is the culprit which the problem happens. But directly dealing with the mind is the most difficult thing. Have anybody seen the mind? No. Right? We have not seen the mind. We have not even felt what it is. But mind is nothing but the collection of thoughts, the uncontrolled random thoughts which we get. And this is the problematic area in the Manomaya Kosha. Today people face most of the psychosomatic ailments, the diabetes it may be, the hypertension it may be, or any other problem it may be. Medical science is telling these are not just disorders, the physical disorder, these are psychosomatic ailments, and the reason is your mind. Even they have come to our ancient findings. But if mind is the culprit, how do you deal with it? What surgery can you do for it? What operation? What treatment? It is difficult to reach the mind. That is why we try to understand how the mind works. Ancient seers, the texts like Yoga Vasishta have clearly pointed out the mental disturbance which happened in the Manomaya Kosha is what is called as Adi. This Adi becomes the Karanam, the reason for Vyadi, which gets in the form of diseases in your body. So from Adi to Vyadi, how does it get transmitted? It requires a channel. The electricity is coming here to the wire. So what is the channel through which the mental disturbance as Adi in the body, in the mind, gets converted into the Vyadi and gets settled in your different body parts? It requires a channel, and the channel here is the prana. Because prana is all pervasive. It is there everywhere throughout your system. So the mind percolates to the prana and then gets in the form of Vyadi, a disease, a problem. Right? So how to set right the mind now? So it's through the prana again you have to work. That's why pranayama plays a great role in giving a proper control over the mind as well. Chale vade, chale chitta. So through the vata, through the air we work, and then to control the mind as well. And mind is the culprit again, wandering in the external things a lot. So to withdraw the mind from the wandering things and then to make it focused is pratyahara. Right? In fact, a wonderful definition of the yoga given by Lord Krishna is yuktahara viharasya, yukta karmasya cheshtasahu, yukta swapna avabodhasya yogo bhavati dukkha. He says yoga is something which can remove your dukkha, as I told in the beginning. But how? When you follow a moderation in all the activity what you do. Yoga is not just sitting in asana for a few minutes or doing some exercises or doing some pranayama or meditation. No. Yoga is a way of life where you lead a disciplined life. You have to have a control over the food what you do. Do not starve. Do not overeat. Have a moderation. Yukta ahara. Vihara, your pastimes, your games and your playings and your habits and all those things. Have a moderation in that. Yukta swapna. Your dream, your sleep. Have a moderation. And avabodhasya, being awakeful also. You should know where to sleep and where not to sleep. Sleep not in the lecture, but sleep in the night in your room. So, the moderation of sleep and awakefulness. And then, the moderation in your work also. Now, people in Bangalore, they all work even in the night. Because they work for America sitting in India. Most of the IT companies around here, right? So the overdoing of work, yukta cheshtasya karmasahu. Even your work, the karma, the nitya karma, what we do, everything should be based in a moderative way, and that is what is Yoga Krishna says, right? So the withdrawal of senses from the sense organs, pratyahara, and then you move towards dharana, which is ekakrata, the concentration. Mind always has multiple thoughts on multiple things. And the more you practice the aspect of dharana, the ekakrata, the sadhana like trataka and all those things, the japa and all those things when you do, and do this anusandhana, what happens? Your mind from the wandering state, from the chanchalata comes to ekakrata. From multiple things and multiple thoughts on it comes to multiple thoughts on a single thing, single object. This is the more focus, like Arjuna telling that he could see only the, what did he see? The eye of the bird, right? And then further, here in Dharana, you have the Triputi, right? You have the stages of the Chanchalata and then Ekakrata and then Dharana. Here your effort is involved. Prayatna is there. And Prayatna Shaitilya. When this effort goes away and when the state happens on its own, you are now meditating, sitting, and then you are making your body straight, focusing on the breath and thinking of something maybe on Omkara or maybe on the beautiful form of Bhagavan, and you're doing all those, doing a japa and all those things. Where your effort is put. In fact, most of our prayers are all dharana. Imagine sometimes you are not doing anything or you are busy doing something and suddenly this thought occurs. You are there in your room studying, or you are just sleeping or something, then you just remember maybe the prayer hall, and then there Swami is sitting, and then you are hearing the chantings going on. So this same, what you do with effort, it happens without your effort. Most of us will have experienced this. This is what is dhyana actually. So dhyana, meditation is not something you do, it occurs, it happens. We need to prepare our system for it by doing the dharana. And further, here in the state of dhyana, though effortlessly it happens, but the three things, the meditator, the process of meditation, and the object of meditation, these three are there. When these three merge in one, that is what is called samadhi, the ultimate merger, where you become one with that ultimate, right? That oneness is felt everywhere. This is what is samadhi, the ultimate state. So Patanjali gives us Ashtanga Yoga wonderfully, where the mind is the tool with which we work. In Jnana Yoga, the intellect is a tool. Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, Jnana. In the Raja Yoga of Ashtanga Yoga of Patanjali, it is called the Raja Yoga, the king of all yogas, because more systematic. Even you have the components of Jnana here. The Swadhyaya and all are Jnana. You have components of Bhakti. Ishvara Pranidhana is Bhakti, right? So you have the Karma Yoga also, like Saucha Santosha are all, Tapas are all the Karma Yoga aspects. So in a way, all streams of yoga, the Jnana Yoga, Raja Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga are all integrated in the form of the Raja Yoga itself. That's why it's called the Raja Yoga, the king of yogas, right? And as a preparatory for this, Patanjali speaks of the philosophy of asana, speaks of the philosophy of pranayama, speaks of the philosophy of dhyana, of samadhi a lot, the stages of samadhi, everything he speaks. But does not mention specific asanas, does not mention specific pranayama or meditating techniques. So that is where the help of Hatha Yoga scriptures come. The whole of Hatha Yoga scriptures, one of the primordial scriptures is called the Hatha Yoga Pratipika, where Yogi Swatmarama, when he starts only, he says, this Hatha Yoga is not an independent stream, it is a preparatory stream for you to go ahead in the Patanjali's Ashtanga Yoga of Raja Yoga. He says, Yeno Patishta Hatha Yoga Vidya Viprajate Pro Unnata Raja Yogam. Arodu Michur Adirohiniva. So this is a staircase for you to climb and go to the Raja Yoga of Patanjali. Hatha Yoga, the postures are given. Specific techniques are given there. The asanas we practice today, the pranayama we practice today, they are all taken from the Hatha Yoga scriptures in general. So after this Ashtanga Yoga, the Raja Yoga, we have people who are emotional. I said the first kind of people are intellectual, second is of mind and willpower, and third are kind of emotional people who may not be that very strongly intellectual oriented. They may not, they are not research oriented, philosophical people, but very good at heart, have feelings a lot. So the bhavanas come there, and using this bhavana, the feeling, the emotion of love which is common for all of us, on something or other, some relations or other relations, maybe on your friends, maybe the children, maybe your spouse or maybe your parents, we all have this component of love. The same when you channelize towards the divinity, it becomes Bhakti Yoga, right? So just the love you show towards your parents, show towards the God. It's Vatsalya Bhava. The love you show towards your children, show towards your Lord, Vatsalya Bhava. Show towards your friend, the love towards your friend, the care towards your friend, show towards God. It is Sakhya, right? So Dasya and Madhurya, and that's how Shanta Bhava, looking at God as the ultimate and worshipping Him. So the Pancha Bhavas and all have come. This is the science of the Bhakti Yoga, the science of emotions culture. In general, we are all struggling with the emotions we have. Dambo, Darbo, Bhimanascha, Krodha, Parushyamevascha, Ajnanam Chapi Chatasya, Partha Sampadam Ashri. The negative qualities we have, right? The Asuric vices we have, they're all called as the Asuri Sampath. And every day, they try to dominate. They try to come out and show their face. Similarly, we also have good things in us. Teja, Kshama, Dhriti, Shaucham, all those good forces are also there within us. But always there is a Mahabharata war. Mahatma Gandhi said Mahabharata is not something which happened in Kurukshetra. The real Kurukshetra is there in our mind. Between the negative and positive forces, there is always a tug of war which happens, and that is what it happens in us every time. So the good and bad try to fight against each other. Now the good has to win, and the wicked has to be chased out. Right? So that is where you channelize these emotions to divinize it by the form of the bhakti yoga which you show towards the divinity. And in bhakti what happens? The selfish interest what we have. The selfish interest what we have, which we call it as kama. The attachment what we have in the worldly things is what is called kama. When you add the element of tyaga to it, sacrifice, right, to it, it becomes prema. And with this prema, when you add sharanagati, that is what has become bhakti. And that bhakti is, Shankaracharya says, moksha sadhana samagriyam bhakti reva gariyasi. Bhakti is a yoga, it's a discipline of yoga, where using these emotions, the bhavanas you have, the feelings you have, take out the selfishness from that, add the component of sacrifice, tyaga, it becomes prema, the universal love which Bhagavan manifested, and surrender to that. Sharanagati, when you do it completely, Ishvara Pranidhana, which Patanjali spoke about, Sharanagati, which Krishna spoke about in the Gita, add that to that, then it becomes the ultimate bhakti, which is the science of emotions culture. Bhakti as a third discipline of yoga, the third stream of yoga. And now certain people are there, you sit and talk any amount of jnana to them, doesn't work. Talk of any amount of bhakti to them, doesn't work. Nor make them do the asana, doesn't work. But give them a task, they would finish. The go-getters. People who are action-oriented people. And majority of the people today we see are that kind of them. They don't want to get into any religious discipline, or they don't want to get into any of the culturing of body, mind and all through yoga and all those things. So let them be doing what they have to do. Each one of us something to do, the karma in which we are doing. Nahi kashchit kshanam abhi jatadishtata karma krata. Not even 1 second, fraction of second we are devoid of doing an action, right? I'm talking, you're listening, right? Those who doesn't want to listen, they'll be thinking of something else. The mind is working. There's some work or other which is happening each and every moment in our life. So these same karmas what we do, how we make it into a yoga, right? The work in which we do, sometimes we get attached to the work, right? How do you know you're attached? When you feel stress in it, when you feel tension in it, that shows you are attached to it. So can you work not getting attached, working in relaxation? Yogastha kuru karmani. Do the karma, but do it established in the yogic state of mind, a relaxed state of mind, and that is what is karma yoga. Right? Many people sometimes say, do not expect fruits of the action, and that is karma yoga. In fact, nobody can do something without expecting the fruits of the action. Fruits will come, but don't focus on it in the process. Do the process, then the result will come on its own. Be relaxed of it. Right? Whatever has to come will come. Understand the cosmic order and work in that. That is what is karma yoga. So these 4 wonderful disciplines we have: the jnana yoga, raja yoga, bhakti yoga and karma yoga. And all of them are not water type compartments. We see intersections here and there. So Swami Vivekananda says, each soul is potentially divine. That is what the Upanishad said, aham brahmasmi tattvamasi. Right? Tattvamasi, you are that. Each soul is potentially divine. The goal of life is to manifest the divinity. How do we do it? Do it either by work, karma yoga, worship, bhakti yoga, philosophy, jnana yoga, or psychic control, the raja yoga. By one or more or all of this, an integration. The wonderful divine path today with maybe Vivekananda or Sri Ramakrishna or Bhagavan Satyasai Baba, what they have given us, the way of life, is an integral yoga what we see. You have the components of jnana, right? The Vedic chanting was done. The bhakti is evoked, right, to the bhajans, and you do the shamadana, you do the Narayana Seva, which is karma yoga, and meditation, and then the asanas and all for the raja yoga. So an integral approach of yoga is what has been emphasized today. This is the most suitable thing in the path, in the life today. Why? Because when we do this, life becomes a peaceful, a happy, healthy, harmonious living. People today are suffering from a lot of diseases, as I told you earlier, and yoga can make you get rid of these diseases and problems. The mental stresses and emotional upsurges are the people are facing a lot. So when you apply this integral yoga, you are free from all those, right? And ultimately, what is required is a peace of mind which yoga gives you. This way yoga can make your life a better life. You can become a better human being. And yoga is an evolution from taking us from the animal instincts to the making us become a human, and then to a superhuman, a divine human, and then to become the divinity, right? So our shastras are never told, you are somebody away from the God, you are a sinner. It has told that you are God. That is what they have all shown us. Hey, I am there, but I am not here alone. I am there in you, right? I am there in you. Bhagavan is sarvantaryami. So to understand the sarvantaryamitva and then to manifest this is the whole goal of yoga. And these 4 wonderful paths have been given to us. So in this occasion of the International Day of Yoga, I thought it is good to think of these concepts of yoga than just doing, because the practice of yoga has become so popular, people do it, understand the benefits, everybody knows. I don't have to say, if you do yoga, your BP will come down, your sugar will go down, your stress will go down, and you will become slim and thin, and that's what is well known to everybody, right? So we need to just recall this concept, the philosophies of yoga, so that we don't limit yoga to its, limit the scope of yoga to just the physical aspect. It has the physical, the mental, the emotional, the psychological, the social, the intellectual, and the spiritual aspects as well. So let us recognize all these aspects. Let us realize these streams and try to follow in whatever way possible, right? Yet kinchit. How much ever we are able to follow, let us follow, so that our life becomes a divine manifestation. Let us live this yogic life. Let us make our life a useful life, a purposeful life, and then we can manifest peace from within. Thank you so much for giving a patient listening on this nice occasion. And I was told, when I came here by your professors, I was sharing how this yoga day got declared, and how our Vice Chancellor Dr. Nagendra took this day 21st, consulting the summer solstice and all those reasons I told, and it was taken to Modi ji, and then he took the UNO, and all this happened. I told that this history of yoga, this history of yoga day, another dimension was brought to me today, by your professors, when they said, in the campus in Brindavan, or perhaps in Prashanti, when yoga was first started, the boys, students went to Bhagavan and they told, we are starting yoga, and he said, yes, start today. And that day in 1990 was June 21st. You call it a coincidence, or you call it as a divine sankalpa. Today, world over, they are celebrating this day. In 2015 it got declared, and 25 years back, and he said this day, yes, come on, start yoga, and that day happens to be the 21st of June, is their reminiscences which comes to us like this. So, in fact, there's another coincidence which I had noticed. It was on December 11th when the UNO officially declared the letter of making the June 21st as a yoga day. That year, 2014, December 11th, happens to be Patanjali's birthday. So a lot of divinity added to all this happens. It all happens in yoga, it all happens in our spiritual India, the Adhyatma Bharata, right? So thank you all for once again listening to me with all your patience, and I thank Professor Rangarajan and all the other senior faculties, Sri Sanjay Sahani, who had been every year constantly inviting me to come here to come to this beautiful campus. In fact, I had felt during my college days, I missed a chance of coming to such institute and study here. So I'm getting fulfilled that by coming and teaching here, at least talking to you all in this way. So I thank Bhagavan Satyasai Baba for giving me this blessing. So quickly, if you have any, I think I've already exceeded the time. So if you have any 1 or 2 questions, you can just ask me. Anything about yoga and its connected thing, the streams which I told about, the traditions. If you have anything to ask. Only one question was there, when will you stop? So that was answered, you have stopped, so no more questions. You have anything to ask? Yeah. You can come here aloud, and so that. Exactly. Not only with, not without having the guru. Sometimes with the guru also you can become mad. That has happened because in US, when the yoga became so popular, once it became the movement, it was a big movement, a wave in 3-4 decades back. Then very soon it was becoming popular, people are having some new experience and everything, then they were, very well accepted and all those things. But soon, people started getting different problems. Yoga is supposed to solve your problems, but in the family, and people are seeing some different activities of the people, the person who was doing, some problems were there, and then they were taken to the physicians, and then they recommended them to go to the psychiatrist. And so, the more the yoga movement was becoming popular, they started spiritual emergency clinics. That was the strategy which happened. That was the level situation which happened. So, one is doing without the teacher is again a problem. And then right teacher is also very important. Expertise is very much important. Simple today that, it has so happened that online yoga. People say, we do yoga. When I ask you, do you do yoga? I go to mass and address, and they ask, do you do yoga? I say, yes, we do yoga. How do you do? Looking at the TV. This morning, Baba Ramdev or somebody appears on the television and then people just watch and do TV, Now I show you all. You're also thirsty, right? I'm showing you all water. Come on, boys, everybody drink the water. Have your thirst got quenched? No. You have to take it and drink. So just watching the TV or watching online doing will not help you. They can motivate you and awareness can be created, but you have to practice them just then when you can. But the right practice on the right teacher is very important. When you don't do, that way you're going to get into problem. Because it is not just, see, when you say you're going to do an asana, you're going to bend down this way. It is not just the asana alone. It is the asana which makes you go to a state of mind. So how do you know whether you have reached the state of mind or not? Unless somebody who can read your mind and guide you that way. So it's so important to learn from a right teacher and do it. The teacher should also be somebody who is well learnt, both in terms of the practicality and the philosophy of it. Shrotriyam Brahmanishtancha. This should be the teacher. So it's so important, learn from the right teacher. There are many paramparas. The good thing is there are many schools, many different styles of yoga. And India has been something which has been welcoming new things. So new modern trends of yoga also entered now. You call something called power yoga and heart yoga, and all those have come into the physical aspects of yoga. Good. But have they been tested? That is where, institute like Vivekananda Yoga University, from where I come from, we do yoga research. Modern scientific research has been done, right? And then they validate the importance of yoga, postures, or pranayama, and all those things. So it is from the parampara, it has to be, people try to promote new things today. Each of the yoga school want to have their own brand today. This yoga, that yoga. So people come and ask us, what yoga do you teach? So it's a problem today. And therefore they have to find their own, so they name after themselves. If I am Subbu, then you call it a Subbu yoga, Vikram yoga. And cinema stars have become yoga teachers today because they don't have market anymore. You have, what is the name, the lady in Shilpa Shetty yoga. It's there. You go to the net and you can search it. It's Shilpa Shetty yoga and all those things are there. So we have to be really very careful. There is a chance that we can get misguided. So learn from the right guru, do it properly, then you get the good result, right? If you don't do it, then you have to face the consequence of it. This is also there. Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah. Thank you so much. Namaste. We'll just sit for 1 minute in silence. Sit with your head, neck, and spine in a straight line. An ounce of practice is better than tons of theory. Just sit with your eyes closed. Relax your whole body. Bring your attention, the focus on the tip of your nostril. Just watch your breath. Just try to be a witness, a sakshi for the breath happening, for the breathing practice. Watch the normal automatic breathing happening through your nostril. Let's do some voluntary breathing. Inhale slowly and exhale completely. Again, inhale slowly and exhale completely. As you inhale, feel the cool air entering your nostril. As you exhale, feel the hot air coming out. See that your exhalation is longer than the inhalation. As you inhale, feel the divine qualities, positive thoughts and energy are entering your system through the breath. As you exhale, feel the negativities, anger, hatred, greed, jealousy, illness, inferiority, fear, all coming out of a system. To calm down the mind further, we'll chant one Omkara all together. Take a deep breath, inhale. Feel the subtle vibrations of the Omkara throughout your body. We'll again chant one Omkara silently in the mind, Anahatanada. Take a deep breath, inhale. Feel the silence in the mind. Feel the energy within. Let's understand that our divine nature, we are the divine manifestations. The whole of yoga system is to lead us from our materialistic worldly life to this divine goal of our life. Let us try to make our attempts to progress in this divine journey, whereby we reach the goal ultimate in due course of time, and at the same time we get benefited in our physical, energy level, mental level, intellectual level, emotional level, and all aspects of our personality. Yoga is a science of holistic personality development. May we remember and recall all these thoughts and apply in our life. Just repeat after me. Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham Shivoham Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham 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 Shivoham. Gently bring your hands together, rub your palms. Feel the warmness in your palms. Make a cup of your palm, bring your palm to your eyes. Feel the warmness around your eyes. Gently open your palms in front of your eyes. Open your eyes with a few blinks and a beautiful smile in your face and look into your palm. Thank you. Namaste.
I offer my most reverential pranams at the lotus feet of our beloved Master. It's my pleasant duty today to propose the vote of thanks to our speaker today, Shri Subramaniam Garu. Subramaniam sir started out his speech with a beautiful invocation, a beautiful hymn, and then went on to highlight the significance of the International Yoga Day, how it really came about. And then he his speech largely echoed the teachings of Bhagwan that we have been repeatedly hearing. He explained the concept of yoga and how it should ultimately lead us to the state of samadhi, something that Bhagwan has repeatedly been telling us over and over again. And he used a number of analogies and a lot of humor, and lucidly explained to us this entire concept of yoga and how a strong body, a sound mind can lead us to our goal towards attaining that blissful state of union with God. And he also ended his talk by making us do a small practice of this yoga. I thank you, sir, for taking out your time from your busy schedule and coming and sharing your thoughts with us. We pray to Bhagwan that we have many more opportunities to hear to you and learn from you this aspect of yoga. We will now end this session with Aarti. I request Sri Subramaniam Garu to offer Aarti to Bhagwan.